what I took out. So I'm going to paint back what I want to keep. I really don't want that much, so I'm going to paint in black again and just take out some of the peppers. There we go. So that's kind of a really quick synopsis of layers. In class, we probably spend like 2 or 3 hours making more layers. Like if I wanted to add more pepperoni, I'll make a copy of this layer. I can either drag it down to the plus sign on the layers panel right here at the bottom, or I hit the keyboard shortcut, which is Command or Control J, and I just made another copy of that layer. And it doesn't look like anything happened, but if I move it around, you can see that now we have more pepperoni. Yeah. Okay, more pepperoni. Command J. And we can just keep adding and adding and adding till you have a real pizza. So, any questions on layers? I know that was really, really fast, but any questions?
Questions? Okay.
Okay, cool. We'll move on. Keyboard shortcut, Command or Control W to close. Don't save. Gone. Okay, this image was given to me last summer by a friend of mine. I used to work at the police department in Lompoc, and she was a dispatcher. She said, "This is me as a little girl on the right-hand side there." And she wanted me to make it look like this. Back in the old days, that probably would have taken 5 or 6 hours to do. Now we can knock it out in like 5 minutes with the help of AI and some of the filters in Photoshop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of that, Command or Control J, and now I made a what I call a safety layer, so I can work without damaging my original, which is damaged enough. So I'm going to go to Filter, Neuro Filters, and I'm going to click on the bottom down here where it says Photo Restoration. Neuro filters showed up about 2 years ago, and they're still improving them day by day. As you can see here, it says beta, so it's still in testing, but it works really well. I'm going to crank up the scratch reduction at the bottom down here to about 48–50%. Enhance face, I'm going to bring back a little bit, because if you enhance the face a lot, the face is like a crystal clear image today, and the rest of the body looks like an old picture. So I'm going to see what happens when I hit this. And at the bottom of the screen, hopefully you can see that it's processing on device. When we're working on Zoom, Photoshop and Zoom don't get along very well. They like to fight, so they slow each other down. So this is at a slower pace than normal. But when you see the final result of just the scratch reduction and the photo enhancement, you're going to go, wow, I hope. This is where I need to have a song and dance show going on in between. We're 81%, so this has got 1 second left, which means about 10 seconds. There we go. So we'll click OK, and we'll do it on a new layer. Click OK. Here is before, here is after. I didn't do any manual labor except click a button to make it go. So now we got a few other things to fix. So I'm going to fix these really quick with the magic tool. If you're using the newest version of Photoshop, we have what's called the remove tool. It comes in the keyboard shortcut of J. I changed my keyboard shortcut, and I'll show you how to do that in a little bit, to R for remove. So I hit R, make my brush a little bit bigger. I'm going to circle this, and it automatically goes around all the way around it for me. Those are the two major things. And if I zoom in, you can see a couple of things here. Smaller brush just to take this one out on the eye. A couple of dots here and there. And then a scratch that didn't get repaired when we did it before. And some film boogers in the hair. That'd be enough to get it started. So I'll just hit enter. And I turned off my remove after each stroke so I can do multiple strokes and not have to wait for it every single time. And sometimes it takes a while, sometimes it's really, really quick. This time it's taking its time. It wants to make sure it does a great job for me. Come on, Photoshop. Show off. Show that you're really cool. So with the remove tool, there is a little glitch right there. So I'll go to remove tool again, and I'll just kind of zoom in and make it happen again. There you go, one a little quicker. And then you can see before and after that we've got so far. Well, let's get one step better. I am going to take my lasso tool, which is a selection. I'm going to make a selection right here. And I'm going to select all that background on the right-hand side here. And what that is, I had her take it to a professional to have it scanned because we were in separate cities. And she took it to a shop that I had confidence in. And so they scanned it for me, super high resolution. Take that. Whoops. Hold the shift key down and hold the lasso tool around. And then hold the shift key down again. And what that does, it adds to it. If I want to subtract, what I can do is hold the Option or Alt key, circle there, and it took it out. So Shift to add, Option or Alt, depending on which machine you're working on, you will subtract. So we can see I've got my area selected, and it's okay to over select. It gives Adobe a chance to go, hey, I can see what I need to do. So I'm going to go down to the bottom down here where I have what's called generative fill. I'm going to click on generative fill. You can type in there what you want it to do, or you can just click on generate. In this case, I'm just going to click generate, and it's going to do magic for me. It's going to give me 3 samples to work with, and if I don't like any of those, I can hit generate again and do it again. And I don't know what the heck it did there, or there, or there. I don't like any of those. So I'm going to click generate again. Normally it works much better than this, but it's not awake, I guess. That's a little better right there. I kind of like that one. Although this over here doesn't quite work. So let's go ahead and do it one more time and make magic, and everybody's going to be happy. Come on, you can do it. Leg, okay. We'll go with that one. That's close enough. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mash these two together, I hope. Merge visible. It may not do it because it did. Okay. So right now we have before and after. And then from here, I'm going to make it color itself. The problem that it does, filter, neurofilter, and we'll go into colorize. The problem with this, it turns the red dress blue every time. Just like that. So what I do is just tell it, okay, I want to change the color that you have for blue. So I'm going to click on where it made it blue. And let's go with that red. There we go. And then I can click all over the place to make it go to red. A little too bright a red, but I don't care for the demonstration. And then comes up on a new layer down here at the output on the bottom. And I'm going to click OK. So we have before and after. And let's just drop the opacity down just a hair so it doesn't look totally wonky. But how long did that take me? 3-4 minutes?
Yeah.
Where it used to be hours and hours and hours. So, questions on that one? Anybody? It's okay to ask questions. I like questions.
There's a question online. You're curious about the banana tool.
So I was,
Okay,
you have a banana in your toolbar.
I do. Does everybody want to know how to get the banana in the toolbar?
And what does it do?
Absolutely nothing. It's just what they call an Easter egg.
Ah,
And so normally you have 3 dots down at the bottom, like this. But when I edited my toolbar and changed things around, let's do edit toolbar. Like I changed my remove tool, I actually move it out. So it's out by itself. And I changed the keyboard shortcut to R for remove. When I save it, I hold Command or Control Shift, click on Done, and that gives me the banana in the toolbar. Just something fun. On my layer panel, Photoshop ships, let me show panel options. This is how Photoshop ships with this teeny tiny layer panel on the right-hand side. So what I do when I'm in layers, I go to the stack of pancakes that's on the upper right-hand corner of the layers panel, click on that, go down to panel options, click on blind old man, that's me, and click OK. And now it makes all of the icons here much bigger and easier to see what I'm working on. So that'll save you a little bit of work there. So no more questions on this one. We'll go ahead and close it out. Don't save. Here's one that's interesting. I shot this in Washington, D.C. about 2 years ago. And you can see there is a moon way up there. That's the original image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my remove tool, R for remove, draw a circle around the moon. Hit enter and it's gone. See how fast that was? Left just a little trail right here. We won't see it when we're finished. So we have before and after. Well, I want the moon to really be visible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Bridge, and I love Bridge. It works so easy for me. I tried Lightroom a long time ago and did not like it, so I just decided to stay with Bridge. Let's see, where did I hide that? Moon and lightning. And what I'm going to do in Bridge is I'm going to right click on the Moon 12 right here And I'm going to click on place in Photoshop. There you go. We now have a moon that's worth having. I need to put it up in the place where it needs to go, right about there. You know what? I'm going to put it right above the monument. And there you go. That's how easy to add a moon. Realistic? Nope,
Not yet.
not yet. Well, let's go to my layers panel, and we have blending modes up here. We can go from normal to darken or multiply, and you'll see a line between all of these. These are all the darkens. These are all the lightens. This is overlays, which does the contrast, all the grays and midtones. Then there's others in here that you can play with. I'm going to go to screen, I think. I like screen the best. And that might be a little bit hot for that. And then we're going to drag it down. And that's exactly what I saw when I shot this image. How many times have you seen on Facebook a perfectly placed moon? Yeah, right. Use your blending modes to make it happen. So that's how easy that is. And if I wanted to add birds or whatever, I could add birds or whatever in there. Let's close that one, don't save. Volkswagen bug. I want to change the color of this bug. How hard is it to paint and stay in the lines? For me, it's massive hard. So what color would you guys like to have this bug?
Green.
Green?
Cowie green.
Green.
Green, green.
Green.
Okay, green it is. I'm going to go down to the bottom of my layers panel, and you have what looks like a yin and yang symbol down here next to my square donut. This is adding an adjustment layer. So what I do is click on that, go down to hue and saturation. Click on hue and saturation. And a couple of ways to do this is take the finger that's under the preset right here. I click on that hand or finger and click on red. And you can see it's picked out red from the left side over to the right side. So anything between these dots is going to change colors. So hue is going to change when I drag the slider. And I'm not sure which way the green's going to show up. I never do.
There you go.
There you go. We now have green. But did you notice a problem?
The background.
The background turned green. The turn indicators turned green. We have a glitch there, don't we? So let me go back a couple of steps. And for those that don't know the oops key, or the sorry key, it's Command or Control Z, like in zebra. So Command or Control Z, go back, go back. And I'm going to go to my magic tool. I love this tool. It's called Select Subject. There's two ways you can use it. One is on your device, which is much faster by about 3 seconds, but the results suck. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it that way. The results are poor. If you go to cloud with your selection, it takes 3 seconds longer, maybe sometimes 4, but the results are amazing. So I'm going to make sure I have cloud selected, and you can set that in your preferences so that it is always set to cloud. So I'm going to click on Select Subject, and look what it did. I got marching ants all the way around the Volkswagen. It's amazing how good that thing works. So let's go back to our yin and yang, the adjustment layers, go down to hue and saturation. Click my finger here, just click anywhere on the red on there or orange, whatever it is. And I'm going to take my hue slider I'm gonna drop the lightness down just a little because it's getting a little wonky. And there we have Volkswagen turned green. The rest of the background stayed red. But if you look at the turn indicators, they also turn green. So what I'm going to do is go to my mask, which is already made for me automatically by Photoshop, hit B for brush. I'm going to paint with black. And it's just that easy. And I'm working with my mouse right now, not my Wacom tablet. If you work with a Wacom tablet, it's like working with a pencil or a pen. It's just so much more accurate and easy to do. And to make my brush smaller, I hit the left bracket key, which is right next to the letter P. It's that little square looking key there. So there you have a Volkswagen Bug that looks perfect. I painted that in no time flat. Before they added this tool in there, it would take probably half an hour to an hour to paint it. You'd put it in color mode and then paint with the color that you wanted. So if I wanted to make like the left fender, say yellow, I'm going to add a new layer, change it to color mode, which is down at the bottom. Bigger brush. I'm going to make it this little blue color that's already set up in my color. You know what? I'll show you how to make a new color. We'll click on the square that has the foreground color, and it brings up your color picker. Or if you don't want to do that and you're in your brush tool, what you can do is hold the Alt or Option key and click on the area that you're selecting. So I want to make it a different color. Let's go ahead and go with this red. And it's in color mode for that layer. And I'm going really fast, not doing a perfect job. But you can see it's still holding all of the values, the lightness, the brightness, the darkness. So as you paint, it keeps everything there. If I put it in normal mode, that's what you get. So color mode, you can paint and make it different colors. So that one is out of the way. Questions on that one? No questions? Okay, we'll move.
I don't see any.
Okie doke. Everybody shoots in camera raw, right? I hope.
We're missing a side screen.
I know.
That ain't it. Trying to find my. Trying to find my spot removal in here.
That's just gonna do the whole thing.
For some reason, I can't find what I'm looking for.
Sure.
Got it. Okay. When I got my camera, took it out, didn't change lenses, and halfway through the shoot, I'm seeing these on my images. How many people have had dust spots on their images and go, why? Easy to take out. We're in Camera Raw right now. I'm going to go to the third tool down on the very right-hand side. You've got the light, the crop, and then you've got the Band-Aid fix. So I'm going to close this and restart it and get rid of spots because they're already showing there. Let's go back, right click, go to develop settings, clear settings, and now we're back to the get-go. Open it back up in RAW. The first thing I do when I hit Camera Raw is hit the auto button up here, which is my auto exposure. And it gives me a good starting point. May not be perfect, but it's a heck of a good starting point. So I can drive my highlights down just a little bit. And then I'm going to go to my magic fixture, which is the healing. So I click on that, and you can see nothing happened, right? If I click on visualize spots right here at the bottom down here, click on that. All of a sudden my spots show up, and the more I drag to the right, the more spots you see. So all I have to do is just go in here and click, 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 click and drag, because you can do multiple at a time. And of course, with this many sensor spots, it's going to take a very long time. But I'm really quick showing you. So where those are at, all the sensor spots have disappeared. So how quick was that to take them out? Oh my God, that was so easy. And I'll do a couple of the big ones here. I actually entered this in image competition a few years ago with no spots on it. So we took off a whole bunch. Go back up here, go to optics, remove chromatic aberration. Have you ever had blue or green or red lines on the sides of different objects? That's a chromatic aberration. So if you click on that, that gets rid of 90% of them, so you don't have to worry about it so much. And then you have use profile corrections. So it takes your lens and says, this is the lens you're using, I need to fix it like this. And it says I was using a 24-70 2.8 ED lens for Nikon, the best way to go. And so when I turn that on and off, it just kind of makes it so the corrections are automatic, so I don't have to worry about, like if you use a fisheye lens, things like that. So I'm going to leave it like this and hit open. And now we have it open. Yes, we still have spots up there, but that's okay. If you want, you can go into the filter, down to Camera Raw filter, and take out the rest of the spots that you see, but I'm not worried about the spots. That's just showing it really quick. So let's zoom in here. What do we got? We got a trash can in the middle of the field. So if I hit R for remove, tap it, and it should take it out really quick. And this thing is magic. I mean, it's crazy how fantastic this works. I got a trash can in here. So I'm going to take that, do the other side. It's going to leave the hole from the lifeguard tower when I tell it to leave it alone. Not perfect, so we'll just do it one more time. And then we're going to show you the magic, the real magic. There we go. Really zoom in. And look who walked into my picture before I knew about it. Can you believe somebody has the audacity to walk in my picture? Does he not know who I am? So I'm going to go to my remove tool, take him out there, make it a whole lot smaller, go across here, 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 and here. Looks like I missed a little bit. There we go. And you can also change the color of your remove tool so it's not always pink. And then I hit enter. And the Jeopardy music starts. Do, 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 do. Left a little spot there. How do you say holy guacamole? That every time I do this, it blows me away. I just love what it does. And Photoshop is just improving day after day after day. So I'm going to close that. I could go in and clean out everything in there without a problem. Let's go back to bridge. And for me to go back and forth to bridge, I'm hitting the command or control and tab. So command tab, and I can go back to any programs that are open. Let's go to narrow filters and we'll go to colorize. I want to make this picture in color. So I double click on it and it's now in color. So I go to filter, neural filters, and my colorize says, no can do, Charlie. We ain't going to let you play. I knew it was going to do that because I've done it this 1,000 times, but I do it for a reason. Let me cancel this out. If you go up to image mode, it's set to grayscale. And when you try to use colorize in grayscale, it does not work. It has to be in one of the color modes. So I'm going to go to RGB color. Now I'll go back to that filter, neural filters, go to colorize, click on colorize. Not bad, not perfect, but not bad. I need to do some green in here to kind of match the wing. The problem is the picture they have on the right hand side in the colorized filter is so small, but you can't make it bigger. That's one of the complaints I have. So I'm going to click on that, and we had it in red before, so it's going to paint red, but I don't want red. And you can't do a color picker in the picture here. So you got to kind of guesstimate where that color is. I'm going to take it down about there. Processing, and you can see it made it probably a little bit too dark. So I can change that, or I can change the strength. I'm going to take it down even further. So let's go ahead and go down. And now it's starting to look like pretty close to what it should. So I'll click here, do the front end, make it the same color, maybe. There we go. And the cowling on the left and the cowling on the right will do. So we'll click on the cowling, which you can barely see. You can barely see the cowling there. I'm on a 32-inch monitor here, and I can barely see it. But there you go. We made that into color. And if I wanted to hand paint in there, I could go into color mode on a layer and paint whatever I want by hand, which gives me a little bit more accuracy. So It's not just for black and white. Does anybody know who this is? This is Luke Bryan before he was Luke Bryan. I was lucky to photograph a concert with him, a private concert, and the guy that was doing the lighting, as you can see, has purples, reds, blues. There's a little bit of clear on this side. He was just flipping the light switches all over the place. I tried to fix it in Camera Raw, not a chance. So I'm going to go to Filter, Neural Filters, and we're going to go into Colorize again and watch the magic. Is it perfect? Not even. But is it 90% there? I'm stoked that we got this much. And I could have worked with it and finessed it in the neural filters and redid it. But for time's sake, I'm going to not do that. We have this kid here. Same thing. We'll run narrow filter again. So if you have pictures that you want to fix in Photoshop, here you go. Click on Colorize. 3, 2, 1, go. There you are. Used to be hard work.
Any questions?
You got to have questions.
I know, come on, people.
Okay, here is an airplane. I was in Pennsylvania waiting to leave after I was visiting my son. And I went in and did a little cleanup on it. Took out the landing gear, took out the rest of the airport and everything, just put it up on its own layer. So I'm going to try to remember how I do this. Move this folder or this image into the airplane. So I'm going to drag with the move tool up to the top where the airplane is, drag it over, hold the shift key and it'll center it. And put it underneath. And that looks extremely realistic. The color of the plane matches the sky with the reds and not even close, right? Okay, we're going to go to Filter, Neural Filters again. And they have a filter called Harmonization. And it's grayed out. Why is it grayed out?
Black and white.
Nothing's
No,
working.
it's color. Let me do background copy, see if that works. Hang on. Filter, Neural Filters. There we go. I just had to make sure it's on the right layer. Now we're going to select a layer to choose from to make the color. I'm going to click on layer 1, which is my sky color. And you can see it made a little bit of a difference there, so I'm going to drag it back. That's kind of before. Let's crank up all the way to 100%. And you can see it matches the color a whole bunch better. And I can add magenta or whatever colors I want to kind of bring it up. I can bring the brightness down even more. Whoa, that didn't work. The magenta got crazy. But I can drag the brightness down to where it goes. If it's a darker background, we can make it darker, or if it's a brighter background, we can make it brighter. Whoa, bright daylight, a little too bright. If you don't like where you went with this, you can double click on the little bubble there and it takes it back to 0 again. So that's called harmonization. These are all new tools over the last couple of years they've been adding in. Let's go to content aware fill. This guy is super cool. Do you see these spots up here? These are not actually sensor spots, but they are bugs that were flying around bright and early in the morning. So let's go ahead and take those out. Gone. Just that easy. But taking out this fence might be a little bit more difficult. I want to make sure it looks like it was shot in the wild, not on a preserve. So I'm going to hit the lasso tool, L for lasso. Just kind of drag it through here. Now I have that area selected. Before, what we would do is go to Edit, Content Aware Fill. And the areas that are green are the areas that you want to use as your sample. So I need to unpaint Leo the lion. And it did a fairly decent job. Still got a little bit of yuck over there. And still spinning down here, so maybe it's working. Still spinning. There we go. Yeah, it didn't do a very good job there. So I'm going to cancel. And I'm going to go to generative fill. So let's go to the bottom down here, click on generative fill, generate, and let it do its thing.
Victorian. Just don't use generative fill. I guess in pictorial. Well,
Okay, that's one, that's two, that's three. So you pick the one you want. I kind of like that one,
yeah.
but I've also got this rock right here that is distracting because it's so sharp. So I'm going to use my remove tool, R for remove, paint it, say goodbye. Set it and forget it. I said set it and forget it. Say goodbye, rock. Sometimes the rocks are very stubborn. Yeah, I showed you, huh? You ain't nothing. So how easy was that? I mean, Photoshop's making it crazy easy. If I went to crop this and I cleared my crop so there's no crop there, you can see that the horizon line appears to be slanted slightly. So up next to the clear button on the top row is a straighten. Click on straighten, drag a line across here, and it's off by about 1.8 degrees. And now I have a straight horizon. More magic. How do it? No. Okay. Any questions out there yet? Is anybody awake out there? Okay. I want to make sure you're all awake. So
Yep.
let's go to remove people. Lincoln Memorial, we'll do that one. I have people in this stupid picture. Apparently they didn't realize that it was my time to photograph.
What is wrong with that?
They're rude. I didn't have a tripod, so what I did was I took this is the inside of my viewfinder, took one of the corners and locked it on one of the corners here. So I got close to as possible, but you can see that the building shifted every time I shot. So, oops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all 3 layers that I have. I'm going to go to Tools, Photoshop, load files into Photoshop layers. And you can also do this from Lightroom. And every time I do this, Photoshop is currently busy. Would you like to cue this command? No, I just don't want to do it after all. I don't know why it does that. And then you wait for it to stack them. 1, 1. Come on. 2. Normally it doesn't take this long, but because I'm playing on Zoom and Photoshop like to fight. There we go. I got 3. So if I click on each one, you can see they've all moved, right? Well, let's do some magic. I'm going to select all 3 layers. To select all 3, I'm going to click on the top one. If I hold Command, I can pick and choose which layers I want to select. Or if I click on the top one, hold the Shift key, click on the bottom one, all 3 layers are now selected. So let's go to Edit, down to Auto Align Layers. I'm going to just say Auto, click OK. And this will take a couple of seconds. Now, if I turn off the layers, you can see that the building is aligned all the way across. That's what I wanted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Command or Control G, because all 3 are selected, which makes a group. Super easy. And if I click on my pancakes on the upper right-hand corner, go down here, Convert to Smart Object. You can also go to Filter, Convert for Smart Filters. Does exactly the same thing. You can go to Layer, Smart Objects, Convert to Smart Object. Cool. That is now a smart object. And you can tell it's a smart object because in the bottom right-hand corner, you have a little bitty weird looking box there that says, hey, I'm a smart object. So what I'm going to do is
Do you guys know what a smart object is? Oh, can you explain what a smart object
a
does?
smart object or a smart filter allows me to do different things to it. So let's say I put a filter, let's go to blur, and we'll do Gaussian blur. And I'm going to crank it way up so you know I did a blur. There's my blur. And I'm going to add a new layer above it. I'm going to paint it with one of the colors that's in my color right there. Yeah. At this point, you would have to go back several steps to get the blur down to where you really wanted it. But what I can do is double click on blur, take it from 97% down to 1%. Or if I want it back up again, I can do that. I'm going to get rid of this paint layer. I'm going to show you something really cool. Delete layer, yes. So right now it's a smart filter, or smart layer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my free transform, so Command or Control T, the filters are going to be turned off on it, which is okay. And I'm going to make this critter about that big. So now when I resize it, it's going to pixelate like heck, isn't it? Well, that's the cool thing about smart filters. Command T to free transform. I'm going to hold my Option or Alt key, which brings it out all four corners. And it's still as sharp as it was before I did that. So if you try to do that in a non-smart filter, make it small, make it big, make it small, make it big, it's going to pixelize and turn into all kinds of squares, and you're going to lose your sharpness. With a smart filter, you can go up and down, up and down, up and down, all you want, and it's going to stay the same. The caveat to this is, if you try to make it bigger than it originally was, then it's going to start to pixelate. You could go up about 10% without a problem, making it bigger, and you're going to be safe. But once you go above 10%, it's going to start to lose its control.
Thank you.
Yep. Let's get rid of the filter, drag it to the trash. We're on group 1 now. I'm going to go to layer. Where'd I go? Smart objects, down to stack mode. I'm going to click on median. And what that does, takes a second. We'll go before and after. How much time did that just save me in cloning?
Yep.
That's crazy. It takes people out. These are the people that did not move very much, the ones that are still there. So I take my remove tool, and it says I don't want to play on that, so I need to make a new layer. Now I can play with my remove tool. It used to be clone stamp or healing brush, and now I go straight to the remove tool for just about everything. Hit enter. And like magic, don't let me down, Photoshop. Come on, baby. You can do it. And because it's going on the smart filter or the smart object, it's taking a little bit longer, but it's working on the upper layer. So it did fairly good. And one more just for fun. Before, after. So if you go to history and go to, I've only got 20 history states, so I can't go all the way back to start, but if I go here to untitled number 1, which is the image, that's before, that's after. The more pictures you take and the more stable you are, the better it's going to work. So let's do this. Don't save. Remove people. I have people at a convention last year that were walking around in my scene. So let's go here. And we're going to do exactly the same thing and show you that I'm not cheating. Oops, I screwed that one up. Cancel. Cancel. Say goodbye. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. I'm going to go to Tools, Photoshop, load files into Photoshop layers, and I'm busy. You ain't busy, you liar. And we'll wait for it to open. I think it's only 5 images this time. If you're not working in raw files like I am right there, they'll open up a lot faster if you're in JPEGs.
And if you're not running Zoom.
And if you're not playing with Zoom, yeah. There we go. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers. Turn them off one at a time so you show I'm not cheating. Everyone has somebody in there. If you want to just have one layer, what you can do is Option or Alt click on the eye. And Julianne Koss was told that it's not an eyeball. And Julianne Koss is the guru to Photoshop. So that's that. And to turn it back on, Option or Alt click, and it comes back on again. So what I need to do is Shift to select all the layers. And I'm going to go to Edit, Auto Align Layers. And like magic, even though I was on a tripod this time, I want to make sure that the tables and the bar lines up like it's supposed to. And sometimes you can see a little bit of at the top up here where it mushed, where there's a little bit off. So even with the tripod, sometimes it goes off. And I'm going to make it a group. So I have all the layers selected, Command or Control G for group. And then do the same thing again. You can right click, convert to smart object, or you can go to the pancakes, or you can go to the filter. Either way, there's 10 different ways to do everything in Photoshop. So this is a group. It's a smart object. So I'm going to go to Layer, down to Smart Object, Stack Mode, Median. I think I shot 8 or 9 images of this and everybody disappeared. Oh, they did here too. Cool. Sometimes it doesn't take everybody out, but there you go. You have before and after. So everybody's gone. How much work did I have to do to take them out? Not a whole heck of a lot, I tell you. It's so cool.
What?
Memorizing the sequences is so far.
Any questions on what we covered so far?
Questions? So far, so good, apparently.
Okay. I'm flying through this, so I'm kind of.
That's okay. We usually stop in about 10 minutes anyways, so.
Okay, cool. This picture I brought up for retouching, and the reason I bring it up, she doesn't need a whole lot of retouching, but just a reminder, here's the real person, here's the person in the mirror. Make sure you retouch the person in the mirror along with the real person.
Yeah.
I'm saying that because sometimes people forget. Let me finish that one first. Hang on one second. Let's right click here, go to Develop Settings, Clear Settings. So it goes back to normal. That's the original. Okay, Adobe Camera Raw. Actually, this may not work with Zoom. I've been having problems with Zoom doing this, but I'm going to try it anyway. In the new Camera Raw, you have the masking tool. So I'm going to click on the masking tool, and you have Select Subject, and you have Select People. And it looks like it's trying to find people in the photo. And with Zoom, it hasn't been working with me. Oh. It's going to work. We're halfway there. Click person 1. And we have a choice of facial skin, body skin, eyebrows, sclera, the white part of your eye, iris and pupil, lips, teeth, hair, if they have them. Some of us don't have it. He's got facial hair or clothes. So let's click on clothes. I'm going to click create. And now I have a mask. I can change the color of his shirt by just dragging hue and sliders around, the hue and saturation sliders. We can do all kinds of weird stuff with it. So you can change the color so easily. And just play with the colors that you want to mess with. That's the cool part. And the eyeglasses, for those that like to play with eyeglasses and get rid of the fancy stuff in there. A couple of ways to do it. One is take the lasso tool, L for lasso. Select this. Click on generative fill. And this is where it gets interesting, because sometimes generative fill works really, really good, and sometimes the remove tool will work even better. So you just kind of see what you get. Now what? That is not bad. Probably go with that one. I mean, how hard was that? Used to be glass glare was like insanely hard. So move this guy back over here where he belongs. Close him, don't save. With Photoshop, if you have the original Photoshop, it should show up with default like this, where you got so many different panels and things. You can drag them all over the place, and all of a sudden your keyboard or your desktop is all kinds of messed up. Well, what I can do is go back up to Window, to Workspace, Reset Essentials, and it goes back to where it was. However, I don't like what they have there. I have my own particular flow. So I will go to Workspace, click on Mics, which is mine. I have History, Actions, and Layers. I have Paragraph, Font, Info Palette, my libraries, brushes, brush settings, and then properties. So, and all those are available. So once you get your thing set up how you like it, go to Window, Workspace, New Workspace, and then type the name of your workspace, include your keyboard shortcuts, your menus and toolbar, click on Save. When you save it, close Photoshop, reopen Photoshop, and you're safe. If you don't do that, then when Photoshop crashes, which Photoshop will, then you lose all your settings. And you can also back up your settings as well. So da 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 da
I have
da
a
da.
question for changing colors.
Yes.
What was that?
I have a question for you on changing colors.
Okay.
Notoriously, studio session, black pants, and they come in with white socks. The best I could ever do is get a dark gray out of them, but never black to make them go away. Do you have a fix for that?
There is a fix for that. I would do multiple layers. Do the
Yeah.
white socks, get them as dark as you can, and then do them again. Sometimes that works. And then there's another way. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head how to make white go black. I can't remember off the top of my head. I haven't done it for a while. However, let me go to share again real quick. Share my desktop, make that go away, say H, goodbye. We'll go to, oh, if you haven't played with firefly.adobe.com, it's time to play. So let's go to YouTube. And there's probably 100 million YouTube videos out there. I recommend the following people, and you might want to screenshot this right on the left-hand side over here. Piximperfect, which is Umesh, which is this guy right here. Super knowledgeable, super great. Photoshop Cafe. You definitely have to look at Julianne Cost. Terry White's good. Flern, which is Aaron Nace. He's amazing. And Matt Kloskowski. Those are the ones that I highly, highly, highly recommend that I follow on a regular basis. And then if you really want to get crazy, you can go to Michael Collins 8401, subscribe to him. And when I hit 1,000, I start getting paid by YouTube, and I'm at 198 right now. So I need 802 more subscriptions.
Uh-oh.
Obviously, I don't do this for money. I do this because I have fun teaching. And when I get the aha moments, it's just amazing. Changing colors might have that on there. Photoshop Party changing colors in various ways might have how to do that. And I'm trying to remember if it was Piximperfect or Photoshop Cafe. One of the two just did a video on that recently.
I think it was Unmeshed Into that did it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember.
that guy's amazing. I mean, he's just fantastic.
Yeah. Yes, question.
Let's say he doesn't rapidly get the 802 subscribers he needs. If we wanted to donate, buy him a cup of coffee for his efforts, is there a way to do that
Is there a way to buy you a cup of coffee?
or something?
Like donate towards you because you don't have 1,000 subscribers yet?
Yeah, let's do. See if I can find it really quick and not hold you guys up all night. Desktop. Well, you can take my class at West Coast School.
There you go.
I know it's in here. No. I got so many things going on. There we go. That's my Venmo account. If you want to buy me a cup of coffee, put $1 in there.
You have to share your screen.
Well, that would be smart, wouldn't it? I always forget that I'm not sharing.
There we go.
There we go. So you can shoot that with your phone or at Michael Collins, Michael-Collins-549. And I just transferred all my money over from my Venmo account to my checking account so that I could pay my taxes. So, has everybody got that?
Yes.
Going once, going twice,
Okay.
gone. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Any more questions? Lots of good information.
Absolutely. Thank you, Michael.
It's very helpful.
My pleasure. I enjoy doing this. So
Gives people things to play with. For sure.
yeah. And if you want to come play at West Coast School, I'd love to have you. It's almost a one-on-one class because right now I have 5 people in my class. So it's going to be a one-on-one experience, and you get to ask a bazillion questions. I'm fairly patient, unless I just talked about something and you were busy playing and, oh, can you go over that again? No. So,
Will you be wearing the hat in the background?
what's that?
Will you be wearing the hat in the background?
That I'll be wearing at Texas school. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to use this hat, probably this hat here.
You have to use the big one, for sure.
My
That's the
Texas
funny-
school hat.
Yes,
The
sure.
instructors have to go on parade during the class or during one of the
Yeah.
parties. And this year's theme is green, so I'll be wearing a green hat.
Too funny. Awesome.
Well, cool.
Well-
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Let me see if there was anything in, Andrew's been monitoring the chat. So,
Okay.
yep, we're good.
Cool. Well, thank you
Okay.
much.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah,
We
thank you.
definitely have learned some stuff this evening. And I suppose on Thursday we can discuss anything else. And I'll try and see if I can help. Because we have a monthly editing discussion group that
Right.
we meet and try and help with questions and stuff, so.
Totally cool.
Anyways,
Alrighty.
thank you
thank
guys
you.
so much
Thanks, Mike.
for being
You
here.
betcha.
Greatly appreciated. Have a great rest of your night.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.
Bye. Okay. I think that's it. Don't forget about the Thursday night editing group. Don't forget to, I'm gonna get the Oak Creek field trip up on the website, and you guys could get signed up for that. Other than that, we're done for the end of the month, and next month, more activities. So stay tuned. Okay, I'm gonna go close out the Zoom meeting. Bye, Kate. And Stefan. And whoever else is there. Okay.